Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Excuse me. Miyo Yoshida upsets the apple cart with Ebanie Bridges, wins a deserved wide decision over Ebanie to claim the IBF World Bantamweight crown. This was a terrific performance by Yoshida, who came in, apparently she was about 7-1 underdog, and she'd fought only just over a month ago, I think, against Sharetta Metcalf. I hadn't seen that fight, but I heard, at least according to the commentators, and also from what I've read, that it was a lot more competitive than the wide scorecard suggested. And what have we said before about defeats, on this channel? It doesn't matter if you learn from your mistakes. And sometimes a tough 10-rounder a month before you get a world title shot, if you're a fighting person and you like fighting, it can keep you sharp. It can keep your talents and your tools, real sharp, and so that when the opportunity does come along, you are prepared to take it. And taking this fight at only 3 weeks' notice against Ebanie Bridges, the IBF champ, this was Yoshida's, Cinderella moment, and she took it. She really took it. Now, I I didn't do a review for this fight, a preview, sorry, but I kind of sniffed a little bit of a upset, because Ebanie, the way she was talking was quite unnerving to me, because she was saying before the fight, I was so pissed off with boxing, I beat Shannon O'Connell and I was on cloud 9 and I had a busted hand, I had to get it fixed and I couldn't get a fight, and then people were dropping out, and I was thinking, I'm not making any money out of this. She gets a load of money from doing OnlyFans and a few other things, a few endorsements. That's fine, good luck to the girl. But this is not ideal preparation if you're going to defend a world title. And Ebanie, she came in with a 9-1 record. I think she got 4 KOs, and she'd stopped O'Connell in the previous fight in what was a grudge match. So she was on a high, and then she had this big dip, this big, emotional dip. And for it to last a year, I was thinking, a replacement fighter, this is going to be difficult for Ebanie. It's going to be a tough fight. Now, if I'd done a preview, I'd have probably said, Ebanie wins a tough one on points. Well, it was tough, but she definitely didn't win this. I had this 97-93, which was same as one of the judges. The other 2 judges had it 99-91, and I can't argue with that. Yoshida was a revelation. Excuse me. She not just because she won, but because of the manner in which she won. Ebanie, heavier hands. Yoshida has never scored a knockout in all of her. She's got 17 wins now and 4 defeats. She's never been stopped, and she's never scored a knockout. She's 35, which is 2 years younger than Ebanie. But she took it to Ebanie. She went straight forward, and she's listed as being taller than Ebanie Bridges. I don't think so, not from what I was seeing in the ring. It seemed to me that most of the fight involved Miyo Yoshida getting close to Ebanie, landing punches and then falling in and smothering any potential counters, any comeback. She was aggressive, but she wasn't firing punches for the sake of it, Yoshida. Most of her punches, I couldn't give you a percentage offhand, but it looked to me like most of them were landing or half landing enough to make Bridges really think. And it was noticeable that Bridges started very slowly. She calls herself the blonde bomber. You think she'd want to come forward and, put pressure on from the word go. In fact, it was Yoshida, the much lighter punching woman, supposedly, who was the one putting the pressure on, who was going forward, who wasn't, slipping and sliding and giving Ebanie angles and all those things that you were expecting that she said she'd do before the fight. No. She was the one coming forward. She was the one putting pressure on. And by the 6th or 7th round, because Yoshida was outworking Ebanie and having the final say in exchanges, including her punch after the bell in one round, because she was doing this and succeeding, by the 6th or 7th round, I was thinking, Jesus Christ, she's going to stop Ebanie, because Ebanie was looking knackered. And I didn't like her body language when she would go back to the corner. It's almost like Ebanie had half resigned herself to surrendering the belt, as if things... Again, I get back to her interviews during the build-up. There was just something not right. It's like she was like, oh, Christ, I've had such an ordeal. Let's just get this out of the way. And that there was an element of that in the fight. And that's not to say that Ebanie wasn't fighting, courageously and with a lot of guts and fortitude, she absolutely was. I mean, this girl is a fighting woman. Never mind all the OnlyFans crap and all the, you know, the fake comedy balloon boobs and the tattoos and all that. This is a fighting woman. This is a proper fighter. And she took her lumps against Miyo Yoshida. And unfortunately, I think she knew from the halfway mark that this was an uphill struggle. And by the 8th round, I mean, take, for example, the final round. Ebanie was fighting her heart out, even though she was ready to drop. But Yoshida just had a bit too much of everything. She had a bit too much energy. She seemed mentally much sharper. Again, she was fighting up close, and it was at times it was messy and scrappy. There was a little bit of mauling, but this seemed to me to be Yoshida's tactic: get in quite close, land your punches, and if Ebanie, who does have quite heavy hands, if she, you know, smother her work, don't give her a chance to work the levers on the inside. Yoshida looked to me like she had a proper game plan, whereas Ebanie, who, by the way, this was her first fight with Dave Caldwell, it didn't look like she spent enough time with him, to be honest, where everything was looking like second nature. Yeah, under Mark Tibbs, she looked much, much better, to be honest with you. So I don't know what's happened there, but I don't know. Maybe Ebanie's lost a bit of love for the sport. Maybe she's making money elsewhere and it's softened her up. It's Marvin Hagler's silk pyjamas comment again, isn't it? That quote. You know, hard to get out of bed when you're wearing silk pyjamas. But all credit to Miyo Yoshida. And afterwards she was, you know, in tears when she got the decision. Her young daughter was there. She was crying, grabbing hold of her during the post-fight interview, clasping her. And it was all very, very emotional. But yeah, well done to her. She becomes a 2-weight world champ because she held the WBO super-flyweight championship before. At 35, she's become the IBF bantamweight champ. And good luck to her. You know, good, yeah, it's good. Good fight, scrappy. But there was only one winner, and that was Miyo Yoshida. So what do you think of the fight? Comments below if you've got any. I'll answer them. I'll have a read of them. And subscribe to the channel if you could, please. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for your time. Hit the like button as well, because apparently they count those thumbs up things. I don't know why, but they do. Anyway, much love to you. Catch you later. Bye for now.